Hey guys, so it's been quite a while since my last YouTube video, and the reason for that being is about a little over a month ago, I decided it was a grand idea to fall and break my arm. So I broke my right arm, which I'm right-handed, so makeup was a challenge. My normal 15-minute routine in the mornings turned into like an hour routine. It was a huge ordeal. So to get back started into the whole tutorial makeup video sort of shenanigans, I decided it was a good idea to do a get ready with me video. And so I'm just super excited my hour has gone back down to the normal time now. So let's go ahead and get right to it. The first thing I do is I start with my MakeSense foundation in the color Ivory. I'm almost out of my first one, so I had to buy a second. Now, I use the foundation for both my foundation and concealer. So for the first part, I'm going to use one pump of the foundation, and then I'm going to apply a little bit extra into a second little container for my concealer. And then I'm going to get out my Pearlizer, which adds a nice little like highlight to the foundation. I'm going to do about maybe a half a pump into the mix for the actual full coverage, and then just a tiny little amount in the concealer. This is the white color concealer, and I'm going to add that to the foundation and concealer in the second little compartment here. Okay, so for the actual base color, I'm going to use the foundation and Pearlizer that I put in the first little chunk container section, and I'm just going to blend it all together with the end of my stippling brush. I do clean off the end of my stippling brush because, as you can see here, I actually use it to apply some of the foundation underneath my eyes. I usually put it a little more thick in this area because I need a lot of coverage underneath my eyes because I get really dark circles. So I'm just going to really quickly put that on underneath my eyes in a little triangle formation, and then I'm going to use the rest and just kind of smother it on my face in different areas. So I usually put a chunk on my forehead, I put a couple lines on the side of my face, and then I also apply it on my chin as well. It doesn't really matter where you put this, just so long as it's kind of everywhere, because you're about to go through and blend it all together and mix it in anyways. Now, our foundation is actually a light to medium coverage, and it's actually really smooth, really light and soft. After I put it on, I can barely even tell that it's there, which is great. So you just want to make sure to completely blend it all in, make sure you get up into your hairline so you don't have a harsh line, bring it down onto your neck as well so it doesn't stop harshly there, and just kind of make sure it's completely blended in. And since I do use a stippling brush, once I actually get all the color everywhere, I usually go back through with my hands and just smooth it out just a little bit because, I mean, it just kind of feels good to do that. So next we're going to take the section that we did for the concealer. Again, it's a little bit of foundation, a little bit of Pearlizer, and a little bit of the white concealer. I blend this together with my finger, and then I'm just going to softly pat it on underneath my eyes, again in a little triangle, and bring it up kind of along the top of my cheekbone. And then I'm going to do this on both eyes and add a little bit extra of the highlight concealer onto a couple different spots on my face to add a bit of highlight. Since I am using the white concealer, this doubles as both normal concealer and highlighter. So I'm going to apply this to the center of my forehead, along the bridge of my nose, and then on the center of my chin. I'm also going to add a tiny little bit underneath where I know my contouring is going to go, and I'm not going to blend this part in just yet. I'm going to actually let that sit there and blend it in with my contouring. So I just make sure that I use all of the product that I put out, and now I'm just going to softly, using the same stippling brush, I'm going to pat it into my face and just kind of make it all blend together with the foundation. Again, there's no huge technique here. I'm just kind of like patting it on, using little circles, just anything you can do to get it to blend in. And again, I also do go through with my hands and smooth it out again. It kind of, I don't know, I just like doing it. I feel like it It helps smooth out any lines that the stippling brush might have caused, and again, I just like the way it feels. Now for those days that you have really dark circles, you can also go ahead and use some of the Candlelight ShadowSense and add a little bit more coverage. So here I'm just applying a little bit of Candlelight underneath my eyes, just a straight line down. I'm not following the circle of the dark circles because that'll actually emphasize it. I'm just going straight down and then just patting this in along underneath my eyes. This helps conceal even more of the dark circles if you have them. Now I'm using the Moca ShadowSense as contouring. I'm just applying a little bit to my same stippling brush, and I'm going to apply it in different spots on my face. Whenever you see other people doing contouring, they usually apply it everywhere that they're gonna have the contouring and blend it all at once. But since our ShadowSense dries really quickly, I like to apply it in like one small section at a time and make sure I blend that section out. That way it's easier to blend and there's less of a chance of harsh lines. So here I'm applying it right below my cheekbones, and this is where I'm allowing it to mix in a little bit with that highlighter that I added before. I'm also going through and applying a little bit to my temples and then up along the top of my forehead along the hairline. As you can see here, it's kind of like a little shape of a 3, and it goes back down along my lower jaw. This kind of helps just emphasize different areas of your face, and you always want to remember, if you highlight, you should contour. So if you lighten, you should darken. Yeah, that's way too much color. So we're just gonna blend this out a lot. If you do end up getting a little bit of color too dark, you can add some more foundation or concealer to it, which I grabbed a little bit extra of my foundation here in a second to lighten up that really dark line that I had. And a lot of people also contour their nose. I don't like to contour my nose that much, so I just applied a little bit to my finger and I'm just softly blending it in along the outside of my nose here. For the blush, I'm using Terracotta, and I'm just putting a very tiny amount onto my palette. I know it's blurry, but it's just a small little dot. Again, same stippling brush. I really should get a new one for these different parts of the application. I'm gonna use the same stippling brush. I'm just gonna get a little bit of the product and apply it to the, what is it, the apples of your cheeks? Well, whatever it is. I'm gonna apply it to that spot on my cheek, bring it up along the top of my contour line, and I even put a little bit on my temple as well. It's easier to start applying with a small amount and then add more color, whereas it's a lot harder to lighten the color once you have it on. I have a lot of translucent powder left over from before, so I really want to try this one that SeneGence has. I just can't really justify buying the new stuff when I have so much left over. So I like to apply a base coat or a top coat of the translucent powder just to kind of make sure everything's completely set. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to. I'm just so used to doing it, and I really like making sure that everything's set, everything's completely there, it's not going to come off. My face also starts to get a little oily throughout the day, so applying the translucent powder kind of helps that, so it lessens the amount of oil that I get. Here I'm going to use our Mocha and our Garnet ShadowSense. I'm just taking a little tiny amount and putting it in one of my palettes, and I'm going to combine the two colors together and use them to actually emphasize my eyebrows to get some more definition. My eyebrows are already dark to begin with, so I'm just going to kind of clean them up a little bit and fill in some of the spots that are a little sparse. And so you see here, I have both colors just kind of side by side, and I'm gonna use a little small angled eyebrow brush and just mix them together right on the brush. Just get a very small amount and apply it just anywhere that you want to in your eyebrows. I'm not super great at doing eyebrow definition just because I'm really new at it. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. So as you can see, it just kind of darkens the eyebrows up just a tiny little bit and fills them out a little bit as well. I'm applying it in soft little small strokes to kind of mimic the look of the natural hair that you have, and then I'm using the other side of the brush that kind of looks like a mascara applicator and brushing my eyebrows back out to help mix everything together with my natural eyebrows. Wasn't quite sure if I wanted to end the video here or go ahead and do my eyeshadow, but you know what, I decided to go for it. So I'm going to be using the same Mocha Java ShadowSense that I used to contour. This is my go-to color. I absolutely love it. I've already had to order more, and I'm just going to apply a little bit to a angled brush, and I'm going to dab some of it off of my hand to make sure it doesn't go on too thick when I put it on my eyes. I'm just going to really quickly apply it all over my eyelid and let it go up a tiny bit. Since I have hooded eyes, I want to make sure that you can still see the color. So it kind of gives it a little bit of a wing, not really. And I'm also going to put it below on my lower lash line as well to kind of blend the whole look together. Again, this is really quick, this is really simple, all of it's one solid color. And it's actually, this is my go-to makeup look for like, I wake up and I'm gonna go to work that day, this is what I do. Next, I'm going to actually get our Sandstone Pearl Shimmer ShadowSense, and I'm going to use this to highlight below my brows and highlight on the inner waterline of my eyes. So you saw I just put a little tiny bit of a little tiny amount below my eyebrows, and I'm just blending it out with just any normal fluffy-ish brush. And then I'm applying right inside the corner of my eyes and a little onto my eyelid, and I'm just going to tap that color in using the same brush. You don't have to be very perfect with this, it's just a light little shimmer color, and it's a really nice effect. So now I'm going to use our Onyx ShadowSense as eyeliner. So I'm going to use an eyeliner brush and put a little bit of the Onyx ShadowSense onto the brush, and then I'm going to use this to start lining my upper lash. I usually start in the center because I have tried it before where I start on like the inner corner or the outer corner, and then it ends up being way thicker than I meant to. So I start in the center and get it as thick as I want it to, and then just kind of draw the lines out from the inner corners to the center and then from the outer corners to the center. This is a way that helps me make it so my eyeliner is more consistent. This was the most difficult thing to do with a broken hand. So it's a lot easier now. I'm also going to put some of the eyeliner on the bottom of my eye, but I'm only going to go about maybe a third to a halfway through from the outside corner. I'm just going to put a little bit of eyeliner, and then I'm going to take a small little fluffy-ish brush and soften it up just a tiny little bit because I don't want it to be too dramatic. Next, I'm going to go through and take my lash sense with Undersense, and I'm going to apply it to my eyelashes. I love this little guy because it's only one tool and you can just flip it back and forth and use it. I still haven't figured out how exactly you're supposed to use the Undersense. I know it's really good at thickening your lashes and lengthening them. At first when I got it, I would apply the Undersense, wait for it to completely dry, and then apply the lash sense. But more recently, I've been applying the Undersense and then immediately flipping it over and using the lash sense. And I think I kind of like that a lot better. So I'm going to do that on both of my upper lashes, and then I'm going to go through and add just a little bit of lash sense to my bottom lashes. I don't really like putting too much emphasis on my bottom lashes, so I'm not using Undersense there. And that's the basic look for the eyes and foundation. Now I'm going to go through and add some Bella LipSense. Ow! Really hurt. I kind of forgot my arm was broken. It's probably not a good idea to shake your LipSense with a broken arm, but remember to shake your LipSense. It helps mix all the color together and makes it go on more fluid, more even, and it will actually help it last longer too. So So you got your layer 1, your layer 2, and your layer 3. And then you're going to top it off with, today I'm going with the Glossy Gloss. Now, when I do gloss in the mornings, the first application, I completely lather it on. I put like 2, maybe 3 coats on, just so it's like really thick, because I usually like walk around, I leave, and then I drive to work, and by the time I get to work, it's normal, and I maybe reapply it once throughout the day, and my lips are still moisturized at the end of the day. So there you have it. This is my everyday go-to basic SeneGence makeup look. So I guess thanks for watching, and if you like, you can feel free to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you click the bell icon so you'll actually get notifications when we do post more videos, because I will be posting more videos from now on.